And China easing COVID controlling curbs even as it maintains its sticking to zero tolerance for the coronavirus.
And for a close look at that announcement out of Beijing, we're joined by Associate Professor Alfred Wu from the Kuan School of Public Policy at NUS. Professor Wu, if I could break that down, in fact, it's not one announcement. We had the Standing Committee last night meeting, and a report released this morning showed that they discussed COVID policy and again mentioned that they would stick unwaveringly to zero COVID. This morning, you've got the State Council releasing their 20 points of how they're going to ease up on COVID policy. And of course, this will then factor down to local governments and see how they execute these particular points. Are we at zero COVID? Are we not at zero COVID?
I would say that they still keep a zero COVID policy, but they relax some part of that. For example, like a quarantine period, a hotel nowadays reduced from 7 to 5. Then they will actually stop the circuit breaker for airlines. I would say that all these measures will help Chinese to go through difficult times under the current COVID policy. Then airline will be much better off financially.
Professor Wu, all these months, more than a year, in fact, we've heard the leadership come out again and again to say that they need to stick to zero COVID because of possibility of large-scale infections, a surge in serious cases, and death damaging economy and the health of the people. What has changed so that the leadership is prepared to ease up in at least a small measure?
I think they do have some valid point. The vaccination rate among older Chinese is not very high. For example, some statistics suggest that in some big cities, even like Shanghai, only 60% of older people got a vaccination in the past 10 months. Then many of them are not actually getting vaccine. So if China open up its border, then if the case go up very quickly, a lot of people will die. So I would say that the Chinese leadership really emphasize on zero COVID policy because of these kind of conditions.
But they are not. Zero is an absolute quantity. This is not, in fact, zero. This is, I suppose, zero COVID with Chinese characteristics. It is easing some measures without the guarantee of proper vaccine protection. Has the leadership factored that into their new calculations?
I would say that they made some mistake. At the very beginning, they should promote vaccination instead of placing great effort on mass testing. But unfortunately, they do have a lot of vested interest there. Then people still emphasize on mass testing instead of vaccination. But now it's a little bit too late because of economic performance is very bad. And also some critical sectors will be suffering more if they are not actually opening up.
Oh, thanks so much for joining us, Professor Alfred Wu from the Kuan School of Public Policy at NUS. Thank you.